Yeah, but for context for people who have no idea what's going on, what happened, oh my God, I feel like I'm about to break your guys' hearts. Just like I did for my mom today. And so pretty much, if you guys have no idea, there was a thread that dropped today on, I know moms think the worst, but it was justified, I guess. But pretty much a thread dropped today that about myself and another YouTuber named NoahJ. And I wanted to give context to it and what happened and in 2021 and just like explain myself and of course like apologize, but I figured I would just address this earlier than later and just sit on it. And I would the second I saw it, I was never going to deny anything. And if I'm being honest, I have sat on this for a couple years now, and I've thought about just saying it like without names, right? I've because when I feel something or I'm going through something, I want to talk about it. And I've thought about just saying like the story of what happened without saying who was involved, and just to get it off my chest and to like tell, because I don't want people to support me without knowing who I am, you know, and things I've done. And I feel like when you do that as a creator, you just feel like you're lying. Like I just feel like if you knew everything about me or all the skeletons in my closet, you wouldn't support me. And I think that's fair. I think you can look at somebody and be like, I don't like that you did this. I'm not going to support you. And so I would actually, after I tell you guys all this, if that's what you think about me, if that's what you say to yourself, you're like, wow, I see you completely differently. I don't want to support you anymore. I am like so fine with that. And like seriously, completely fine. I think you can, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to cut to the chase. In 2021, Edison and I, we obviously broke up. Everybody knows this. If you don't know, I used to be engaged. I was in a relationship of like 6 years. We started dating a long time ago. Anyway, so Edison and I had a very rocky end of our relationship. I got like cold feet, and there was just a lot of stuff between the two of us that we just realized like we're not ready for this, and we decided to end our engagement. And we ended it. Well, before we ended it, we took a break, and then it was like a on and off a little bit. We weren't together. We were like, hey, 2 weeks away from each other. Let's see. That didn't work. We were like, hey, what's the point of a break? Let's just break up, right? So we broke up, and then we didn't say anything publicly for like a month and a half, right? We announced publicly that we broke up, but before that, when I was broken up, before it was public that I was broken up, I went to the 100 Thieves Creator Camp, and when I was there, I was obviously a mess. I was just trying to distract myself, but I had just gotten out of an engagement, so I was. You know how I am with when I yap. I just talk to everybody, and I just say things. So we were getting cozy. Everyone got really got to know each other pretty well. We're staying up to like 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. just like by campfires and stuff. And so I got to know a guy there named NoahJ, and he's a YouTuber and stuff. He's with 100 Thieves, super friendly dude. And so I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. And so I started to open up. I opened up with a couple people about it, but he was one of the people that I started to tell. And I was like, me and my fiance, like my ex-fiance, we just we broke up, and I'm going through like a really hard time. I don't know how to deal with things, and like, was it the right decision? Yada, yada, yada. So, he then confided in me, and he told me that he basically hey, he's like, I'm married. Marriage is not that simple. He's like, basically explaining that him and his wife have struggles too. And I felt very comforted knowing that when I look at that my relationship fell apart, that other people's from the outside it might look perfect, but it's not perfect. Relationships just aren't perfect, right? And it felt comforting to know that. And so I talked to him more, and we talked, and I remember we stayed up till 5, and we talked, and I felt so understood. And so the camp ended, and after the camp, I was like, wait, I feel like we should continue our conversation, and that's when we did. We kept talking, and we talked about. He shared more about his relationship, and essentially right then and there was where I should have known it was not okay. In my mind, it was oh, he's married. Let me if anything, like, let me, like, I know he's married, so there's nothing, right? It's like just two people going through it. And I don't know if you've ever been broken up with someone or ended a relationship, but like, you look for other people who are there to talk to, right? You confide in people and people who really listen to you, and people, it's really easy to like trauma bond with somebody. And I think that is obviously, in a relationship, it's like not okay to, I think it's like very, like, from my perspective at least, it's very inappropriate to like if I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to go listen to like one guy vent about his relationship problems to me. Like, that's already like crossing a line, right? And so obviously the line was already crossed at camp. Just me listening to his problems, I felt like was already crossing a line. But in my mind, I kept justifying like, oh, okay, this is me helping. If anything, I was like, you should go get therapy. You guys should go work on it. Like, you know, like, maybe you got married young, but like, you guys can still go forward and fix it, right? But I absolutely selfishly enjoyed his company, and in a way that I shouldn't have, right? Knowing, like, the way I thought about it was like, if I'm his wife, I'm not comfortable with him on a call with me, right? Like, that's it, right? So we kept calling, and we were like, because he was back in Texas at the time, and we were just like on calls, and we were like talking, and then we'd play Valorant. And I remember we just play Valo and stuff. And then over time, pretty much, I just like didn't want to admit it, but I developed feelings, and he developed feelings, and it was just like, we didn't want to admit it, but like, we kept talking. And then I was like, and he said like, I think I'm gonna get a divorce, pretty much. He's like, it was like he was already talking about it right from the start. And the second he was like, I'm gonna do this, I let myself be like, I was like, that like switched something in my brain that was like, there's hope that we could be together. I was like, okay, then I can like wait until papers are signed, and then like we could be together after all of this. But throughout that entire thing, like, that's like, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing? And I'm going to bed every night, and I'm on Google going like, what constitutes emotional cheating? What constitutes that? Like, what am I doing? I was trying to justify my mind. I was like, oh, well, they're going to get a divorce. So I'm allowed to feel this way, right? And then like, I would battle with that feeling. And then I was like, you know, like, I was just going back and forth trying, like, the mental gymnastics you go through, and I went through to tell myself that what I was doing was not wrong, is insane, because I come from somewhere where like, literally cheating is death. Like, you are an awful person to do that to somebody you love. What is wrong with you? How could you do that? Especially like, you know, my past, like, my friend was cheating on in high school, college, like, for those of you who know, like, the whole, like, you know, with my ex and stuff. And I like, of course, so I know what it feels like to be on the other side. And on those calls was where, like, the moment we opened up like that was where it was like, in my mind, that was already like, that was crossing the line entirely. I want to just like, some people are saying that I cheated on Edison. No, I did not. We were broken up. Whatever. No, okay, I did not. 100%. It was because we broke up that I felt the need to dump my emotions on people. I was like, I'm going through this, and I don't know how to deal with a breakup, and I don't know how to publicly, I don't know how to, like, it's not a normal human thing to go through a breakup and then to have to announce your breakup publicly and then have people speculate about your breakup. And I was like dealing with all these emotions, like dealing with the way that people perceive me from breaking up with him or him, like, you know, that whole thing. So it was because of that I then looked for emotional support. And so, yeah, damn, I came at the wrong time. It's easy to emotionally attach yourself to people when you're suffering. Yeah, no, guys, it's what I did. I was going through something, and I looked for someone who was also going through something, and I should have like literally been like, nip it in the bud right there and been like, yo, that is not like me. I should not be dumping to you like this. Like, that's not, but instead it felt so good to be heard and to be related to. I was like, wait, yeah, you get it. Oh my God, you get it. And we're both like, you know, like we're both creators and streamers, and then like our SOs or like form, you know, they were not. And like we had so much, like so many of our struggles were the same. So I felt so hurt at the time. And it doesn't matter though, you know, it was the dumbest mistake, the dumbest regret of my life. The guilt I felt and still feel